Okay, good morning, guys. Uh, Today we are going to start the fifth unit, a graph. So this is the syllabus of your fifth unit. We are going to study about the different types of storage structures of graph, how we are going to store the graph, and what are the properties of graph. Then, then how we are going to insert, delete elements or nodes into the graph. Then finally, how this graph is useful in real world application. So that is what the last topic is, your application of graph. Okay, next we'll see about the introduction. First we'll see the introduction of graph. A graph is a non-linear data structure consisting of vertices and edges. So it is a non-linear data structure. So as like tree, it is a non-linear data structure. A graph is an abstract data structure that is used to implement mathematical concepts of graph. So actually, the concept of graph is evolved from the mathematical background. Actually, it is a type of mathematical concept where if we study about discrete mathematics, we can come to know about graph. So, so it is a abstract data structure. So abstract data structure is that where the data structure tells about only the basic details, not the implementation details. It gives only the abstract details of the operation. So whatever the abstract data structure we have seen is that linked list, array, stack, queue, tree, all are coming under abstract data structure. Or we will see wherever you come across the word ADT, acronym ADT is nothing but abstract data structure or abstract data type. Used to say like abstract data type. A graph is oftenly viewed as a generalization of tree structure. Okay, so it is a generalization of tree structure that we will see. Any kind of complex relationship can exist between the vertices. Okay, this is an example of graph. It's an example of graph where graph consists of vertices. So here we have five vertices: one, two, three, four, five vertices. Okay, the vertices are named as 0, 1, like that. It can be numerical as well as alphabets. It depends upon. Okay, so how the vertices are connected. Okay, 0 vertices is connected with the vertices 1 by the edges. Okay, 0 is connected to 1 by edges. So here 0 to 4 is connected with an edge. Same like tree. So we have to know about the difference between tree and graph. We can say that a tree is a special kind of graph. You can say tree is a special kind of graph, and there is a difference between what uh, tree and graph, where if you want, in case of tree, if you want to reach a node D, if you want to reach a node D from A, there will be only one path. You can traverse like A to B, then B to D. So this is the way you can find a path to reach a node D. So there exists only one path. Okay, it's not like so in graph. You can reach a node, particular node, the destination node, from any source to that particular destination. You can have different paths to reach the destination. Okay, fine. The other difference is that you can have a closed loop in case of graph. Okay, you can have a closed loop or a cycle in a graph. Like 1, 4, 3, see, it's forming a cycle. Whereas here you cannot find a cycle in case of tree. And we know that a tree is a hierarchical relationship. It's a parent-child relationship. Okay, and when you take a tree for any given number node, there will be number of nodes minus 1 is the edges. For example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes in this tree. You have n minus 1 edges. There will be an exact of n minus 1 edges. That is 5 edges you can have. My voice is breaking. Now it is okay. A path in which the first and the last vertices are same. A simple cycle has no repeated edges or vertices. So this we call as a cycle. Then connected graph. A connected graph is said to be connected if any two vertices in V, there is a path from U to V. Okay, if two vertices are connected, there should be a path. Okay, if there are any two vertices, there should be a path. Then we say that the connected path. There will be cases like if there is a two vertices and then there not be a connection between the two graph also. Okay, so you can take this example. We can say like A to C, or we can take like B A is not possible. So we can say this is a, when I want to reach A to C, I can go like A to B, A to D, E and C. So if you take any node, I can reach that node. There will be some connection. There will be one, any minimum one path will be there. Okay, that's what connected graph. So all the nodes will be connected. And connected graph that does not have any cycle is called tree. Okay, so when you say as a tree, does not have any cycle is a tree. Next, complete graph. A graph G is said to be complete if all its nodes are fully connected. So all the nodes are fully connected. There will be a path from one node to any other node. Every node, for example, having 10 uh, what 10 cities, having a 10 cities, okay, in a particular state, all the 10 cities will be connected in every direction, right? From one city to, you can connect to all other remaining 9 cities. So in case of complete graph, these many edges will be there based upon the vertex, where n is the number of nodes in the G. Okay, here we can say as a vertex also. Then labeled graph or weighted graph. A graph is said to be labeled if every edge in the graph is assigned some data. Assign some data. For example, if I am take this undirected graph, I want to reach a node A to B. Okay, to reach a node B, there will be some weight. I'm assigning a weight for this edge 5, 6, 3. So this is labeled one. Okay, then 8 like this. So I want to reach B. So if I want to reach from A to B, so I need 5 unit, maybe whatever the case, unit or length for 5 kilometer. I from reaching from one city to another city, there will be 5 kilometer I have to reach to B. So this is what weighted graph. Either here also you can have. In case of directed graph also, you can have the weight 3, 2, 1 like that. Multiple edges. Distinct edges which connect the same endpoints are called multiple edges. Okay, so distinct edge is nothing but you can have a particular you can you can reach a particular destination by several paths. That's what different distinct edges, several paths in such a way that you, one path should not have another path's edges. That's what distinct edges. You have several different path. Okay, you have two different paths. That is called multiple edges. So here it is represented as e dash. Next, a loop. We told about loops. Studied edge that has identical endpoints is called a loop. It's identical endpoint. See, B. Take this example. B having edge. which is connected to the same vertex, identical. I can reach like this also, like this also. Okay, so identical endpoints is called a loop. Multigraph, a graph with multiple edges, is called multigraph. So here we can say, I have shown clearly this example. First graph where you can have multiple edges for C and D. Okay, you can reach a city, you can reach a particular area by having two different paths, right? So that's what it's saying. You can bypass it, or you will go via some other city. Okay, so there will be some weight will be different. Okay, there will be lesser kilometer when you go with along in bypass, or okay, like that. So if you're having multiple edges, we can say that is a multiple graph. Okay, and one more thing you have to note down, when you say a graph is simple graph, is that if there is no self loop or multiple edges, then we can say that a graph is a simple graph. Size of a graph, the size of a graph is the total number of edges in it. Okay, how can you define, tell that the what is the size, how, how much weight is, how much weight I have to reach from any node to any node. For example, there will be some scenario to calculate the weight of the graph. So it depends upon the number of edges. Again, number of edges nothing but it, again it will what, it the weight matters, weight of the edges matters. Then director graph. A director graph is also known as digraph. We shown that a, a vertex having a direction to another vertex. A edge is having a direction, right? That kind of graph we called as what? This we can the this we can say as the what, digraph, because it is directed one. A and B is a direct. There is some direction in the graph. And this is an example of tree also, and this is an example of weighted graph where it has edges in the edges have some weights. And we have seen out degree. Okay, emerging the edges emerging out of a vertex, it's called out degree. Isolated vertex is nothing but degree is 0. There may be some cases that a vertex will be isolated where it is not connected to any other node, that we see as an example also. Such a vertex or is not an ending point of an any edge, it's called isolated vertex. With pendant vertex, you having vertex having only one vertex, or sorry, one degree, is called pendant vertex. So cut vertex, a vertex which will, when deleted, would disconnect the remaining graph. Okay, if any graph, any vertex is disconnected, then here we cannot we cannot say that if you cut any vertex, for example, we cut B vertex. Okay, the graph is some way connected, right? A to B is not, it's not disconnected. We cannot make it two disconnected graphs. Okay, when you disconnect this B also, it's not possible. It is connected only when you cut this, when you remove this B, but some way it is connected. The A is connected to F. Okay, so if there is a vertex that which disconnects the graph, is said to be cut vertex. Source, a node U is known as source. Okay, this is emerging, this is positive out degree but a 0 in degree. If is having any what, outer, I mean emerging edge, we can say it is a source, right? Sink, a node U is known as sink if it has a positive in degree but a 0 out degree. Then again, I have different types of directed graph. Strongly connected, weakly connected. A graph is said to be strongly connected if and only if there exists a path between every pair of nodes. When you take any node A comma B or G comma F, when you take any pair of vertex, then we can say that what, there should be a connection. Okay, then we can say that it is a strongly connected directed graph. I'm saying, telling about the directed graph. Weakly connected graph, A graph is said to be weakly connected if it is connected by ignoring the direction of edges. Okay, if there is like uh, no kind of direction, you can say that undirected graph, you can say is that an weakly connected graph, right? Undirected graph can, we can say that is a weakly connected, where we don't have any what direction of the edges. Parallel or multiple edges we have seen. So multi-graph is an example of this. And simple directed graph, a direct graph is said to be a simple directed graph if and if it has no parallel edges. If there is no parallel edges, then we can say it is a simple directed graph. Next is connected components. Okay, as like we have seen the cut vertex. Okay, that we have to remember. A vertex v of g is called an articulation point. So in a graph, we say articulation point is a particular vertex. Okay, if you say that vertex v is a vertex v is a articulation point, if removing v along with the edges incident on v results in a graph that has at least two connected components. Okay, it's meaning that, for example, having a like this. Okay, what I'm doing, let us consider like this. This is a graph. Okay, I'm removing one, name it the the nodes of the graph 3 4. Okay, this should not be there. Okay, like this, if I'm removing a vertex 2. Okay, it means that I'm removing along with the edges, along with the, because this edge is connected to node 1 as well as node 3. When I remove it, it becomes what? It's at least two connected components. Yes, what, this one becomes isolated node, and it is also a kind, it is a graph now. This is a one part of graph and this is another part of graph. Okay, that point of vertex is called the articulation point. Okay, a biconnected graph is defined as a connected graph that has no articulation vertices. Okay, so if even though if you delete a vertex and along with the edges, then it should not affect the disconnection. Sorry, it should not affect the connection of the graph. All in any way, it will be connected to the some other nodes, some other vertex. Then we can say it is a bi-connected graph. So, for example, this is the example shown. Example bi-connected graph. When I delete a vertex D, what happens? So this is deleted. I'm removing a vertex from the graph. Okay, wow, this is connected, right? There is no, we cannot make two uh, parts of graph. So in such a way that we have to form a graph. For simple directed graph, so for example, you're having a simple directed graph. So what is the number of edges? So just you by heart it. Okay, so how many edges will be there for a directed graph? See, this will be applicable for only simple direct graph. We told that simple direct graph is where we don't have multiple edges or self loop will be there. No parallel edges or no self loop is called as a simple graph. If it is having a direction, then it is a simple direct graph. In that case, what is the number of edges? Okay, and for simple undirected graph, there the number of edges will be, why it is divided by 2, because there is no having direction, right? This is, for example, A to B. A to B is connected. This is what? Undirected. Okay, I can represent with the single edges enough to where the A and B are connected, vice versa, A to B or B to A. If I want to be right in a directed fashion, I need two edges, right? I need two edges. That's why it is little bit higher. I mean, twice the number of undirected graph. So directed graph requires the twice the number of edges when compared to the undirected graph. Fine. So simple graphs you have seen, no self loops. Dense graph. So this one is a very important keyword. This you have to remember. Dense graph and sparse graph. So dense graph is that you're having more number of edges in a graph. It means that uh, every node is connected to some other node. There will be a different, more possible paths to particular node, or you having multiple edges. So it is higher number of edges will be there. That kind of graph is said to be dense graph. Okay. If there is no, if there is less number of edges, then we can say there's what it is a sparse graph. See, when you take this example, I can say this is a dense graph. It's not that much dense. Okay, if having like this a to c, b to d, so having more number of edges. Okay, this we can say this is an what, dense graph. Why? Because it is having more number of edges. This we can say second graph. Already we told it is a tree is a special kind of graph. When you take this, we can say is a sparse graph. Why? Because it is having a less number of edges. Even though it is connected, every nodes are connected, but there is a limited number of edges. That kind of graph we call it as an sparse graph. And dense graph, and when you, how will the dense graph will be used? Okay, if you want to store the dense graph, right, we'll go for adjacency matrix. If there is in your graph there are more number of edges, which kind of data structure you'll use? How you are going to store the um, how you are going to store the nodes as well as edges in your computer memory? Which fashion you use, which format you use? I'll go for adjacency matrix. I'll use the matrix format. And if there is less number of edges, which data structure I'll use adjacency list. That we'll see. This is a different topic in your syllabus. How we are going to store the elements in the graph. Okay. Simple path, no vertices, thus no edges are repeated. Okay. So what is a simple graph? Sorry, simple path is you take any path from one node to one node. Okay. That vertices should not same vertices should not be repeated. Okay. If I'm reaching from, for example, A to D, this we can say as what, simple path. Okay. From here, I'm reaching this one. Okay. This we call it as what, simple path. I can do like this also, in some other way. Uh, I want to reach this node, for example. I want to reach this node. What I will do, I'll go like this. I may go like this also. Okay, so I have already visited this vertex, but again I am trying to visit, right? But this cannot be a simple path. Once the vertices are ignored, okay, automatically the edges will also be ignored. That's what this sentence uh, defining. Okay, if there is no edges, then automatically there will be no edges. Okay. So undirected acyclic graph. So a cyclic graph is that we're having a cycle in a graph. Okay, so this is what you can, for example, tree we can take it as an undirected cyclic graph. There is no direction in this graph, right? And there is no cycle also. There's no forming any loop. Okay, whereas in case of this graph, you have a cycle, right? We have a loop. So always keep that. We may ask like DAG, the acronym DAG. It is important. It's nothing but directed acyclic graph. Directed acyclic graph. So it is directed one, and it has a loop also. It is a cycle. So no, it is a acyclic. Sorry, acyclic represent. It is not forming a cycle. See, if I want to take this node, okay, in any possible direction, it cannot form a cycle. See, I'm going here. I'm trying to go this way also. If I'm trying to reach the same endpoint, same identity point, there is no possible, right? Possible way to reach the same endpoint. One, I will take one, two. 3, 4, 5. See, I want to reach the node vertex 1 from 1 itself. Okay, how can I traverse? How can I visit? I can go like this way. I can go this way. 4, 3, 5. Okay, and also endpoint. I cannot reach 1. So it's not forming a cycle. Okay, that's what we are saying. It's an acyclic. If it is not forming a cycle, if you take another path also, it will not work. Okay, it will not form a cycle. Then we say it is an acyclic. It's what directed acyclic graph. This you have to remember. Well, then what is this? If this graph path consists of repeated vertex and two edges. So here we when you take this graph, A, A is connected to B. Okay, this is an example of not a simple path. See, I'm reaching A to D, A to D. So I'm using this path F, H, E, B, and A. So again, B is visited. Okay, we cannot say this is a simple path. This we cannot say as a simple path. That's why I taken this example. Okay, this is what how you are reaching, where you want to go, A to D. There's another path is there, A to D. I'm visiting all the vertex A, B, F, H, E, B, A, D. That's it. Then we told no about different types of graph like connected, weakly connected, strongly connected. So this is one connected. Why? Because all the vertex are connected to some way, connected to some other vertex, right? You want to reach B to A, B to E, I'll go this way. That's what it is. Strongly connected graph. Always the undirected graph. Keep in mind, always the undirected graph will be connected, right? Why? Because it's not having any direction. Okay. Then strongly connected is that we can any node can be reached from other node. Okay, that is what we are saying. Strongly connected directed graph. It is strongly connected, and there may be a case I cannot reach uh, A to C also. See, I cannot read, even though it is directed, or this one. When you say this graph is weakly connected, if you are having like from A to B is possible, and C to B is possible. If I want to reach from B to A or B to C, it's not possible. Even though it is connected, but it's not some possible connections is not there. That's why it's saying it is a weakly connected graph. And this is not connected graph. This is also a graph. These are two disconnected parts of a graph. Okay, C and this is one part. This one part of graph. This another part of. This is what we are saying as a not connected graph. Okay. Next is that representation of graph, or we can say storage structure. How we are going to store the graph? He told that there will be a situation that we can store the graph in the format of dense graph or sparse graph. There will be two types of graph. One is dense graph, one is sparse graph. So there are three common ways of storing graphs in the computer memory. One is sequential representation by using the adjacency matrix. Adjacency matrix, we are using, when you say matrix, we are using two-dimensional array, right? We are using two-dimensional array. Then another type is a linked representation by using an adjacency list. Here using list that stores the neighbors of a node using a linked list. Okay, we are using another auxiliary data structure called a linked list. So we say graph is a data structure. Okay, to store this, again we store this what vertex or edges in a memory, I may use some other data structure also, right? I'm using linked list. Okay, that we call as a adjacency list. And adjacency multi-list. Okay, this is not covered under this is not part of the syllabus. Only these two having syllabus, the first two. Okay, and we'll see what is multi-list, which is an extension of linked representation. So it is an extension of the second one. Okay, fine. So adjacency matrix is used to store the dense graph. Okay, is used to where it is used. We can when you are going to store the dense graph, we can always go for the adjacency matrix. When you are going to store the sparse graph, I can go always with the adjacency list. Okay. So adjacency matrix representation. Okay, first we'll see the first one. An adjacency matrix is used to represent which nodes are adjacent to one another. From the name itself, you can telling adjacency. What are the vertex adjacent to a particular vertex? I'm going to store. When you take node A, who are all the adjacent vertexes to the node A or vertex A? I will store that one. Then I will take B node, B vertex, who are the adjacent vertexes. Then I will go for C. Like that, I will go on. Then I will find all other adjacent vertex and store it in the memory. That's all. In a matrix format. That's all. For any graph G having n nodes, the adjacency matrix will be having dimension of n by n. Yes, having 4 nodes in a tree. Sorry, 4 nodes in a graph. Then the dimension of matrix is 4 by 4. Okay, it will be like this. Okay, having 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. We having 4 rows, 4 columns. We having 5 vertex in a graph. Then it will be 5 by 5 matrix. If node B is adjacent to node A, then there is a definitely edge. Okay, that's what this is representing. If one B is adjacent to A, then we can say is that what it is connected one. So if it's connected, then we can use 1. If node E is not connected to A, then we can store 0 in the particular cell. So whoever the vertexes are connected, I will store that cell as a 1 or otherwise 0. So adjacency matrix contains only zeros. And so what did we conclude that? So adjacency matrix will having only zeros and ones only. The values will be zeros and ones. So it can be called as bit matrix or Boolean matrix. So Boolean value will be what either 1 or 0, or bit is called it can be either 0 or 1. So that's why we are saying it can be different. It can have different names. So next is graph and their corresponding adjacency matrix. So this slide will show you very clear picture of how the uh, graph edges and vertex are stored in the adjacency matrix. We have taken different types of graphs also. Okay, the first one is directed graph. We are having how many graph? Sorry, how many edges? How many vertexes? 5 vertexes. So that's why we're having 5 by dimension. That's all simple. Make it easy. Then A is A to B. This is one. This is what we are seeing. This is a directed one. So directed one is that we are having a direction towards particular source for a particular destination. So A to B is connected. What I'm being A to B is first I will take whether A is connected to A, whether it's having self loop. No, it's not having self loop. So it is marked as what? A is 0, like that. A to B is connected. Yes, A is this one. It is connected to B. Yes, it is connected. 1. Next we will say E to C. I'm taking E to C. This is a E. So this side representing the source. Column representing the source, I mean the vertex names, and this represents the destination. From E to C. So which is a cell? E to C. Nothing but 5, 3. Okay. Anyway, we have to convert into what, uh, integers. A can be what, a consists of what, 0, 1, 2. When you're representing matrix, we will store with the index form, index only, right? That's what. So here it is 4, right? So 0 to 4. So 4 comma c is what, 2. So 4 comma representing this one. Simple. Next, directed graph with loop. So with loop, if it is like with loop means what? Then b of b. See, b of b is what, made as 1, because it's having self loop, right? If it is having loop or multiple edges, okay, this is different from this one, second one. And when you take undirected graph, when you take undirected graph, we told that the number of edges will be lesser, okay, in case of undirected graph when compared to direct graph. But when you are storing it in matrix format, it takes more number of space. See, a to b, a to b is connected, right? So we are putting this one, a to b is connected. Again, when you take from b to a, I am taking the source as b and destination a. Then when I take this one b, then what, b to a is connected, right? I have to make this still as 1. So two way I have to traverse, two way I have to mark the bits as 1. Okay, and one more thing you have to note down here, the diagonal elements are 0 in case of undirected graph. So it's a symmetric one, you can say like this, undirected graph is a symmetric graph. Okay, why? Because it is a mirror to this one, right? Then the other one is weighted graph. uh, Previously we have said that if it is connected, we are taking 1, some unit length is 1, unit length is 1. Okay, a default bit either 0. But if it is what, if you are assigning any weight from a to b, directly writing the length of the edge, or weight of the edge, how much amount I have to spend to travel from a to b. Okay, it is that 4 kilometer I have to take from a to b. So that's what it represents the weight, that's all. So this how we are storing the elements or edges in the matrix format. So for a simple graph, the adjacent matrix has zeros on the diagonal. That's what we said. Okay, the adjacent matrix is a symmetric one. This undirected graph is a symmetric one. So the memory required is what, order of n square. Actually, this is n square. This is n square. So if you're having 5 matrices, sorry, 5 vertex, so you require what, 25 cells, right? So it requires that much space. If having 8 vertex, so 8 into 8, 64 cells are required. That's much space is required. In case of matrix, this is the disadvantage. If you are trying to store the sparse graph in matrix format, then it is a wastage of memory only. In that case, it is a disadvantage. Okay, so this one you have to analyze when it is useful, when the adjacent matrix is useful, when the adjacent list is useful. Okay, when you are trying to store the sparse graph, it is waste of storing in matrix format. So number of ones in adjacent matrix is equal to the number of edges in the graph. Yes, the adjacent matrix for a weighted graph contains the weights of the edges connecting to the nodes. Okay, that's what. So weight of the edges connecting to the nodes. Okay, fine. So I'll complete with this slide. This is an example of graph. Example of graph taken, and we have taken how we are going to represent in adjacency matrix. Adjacency matrix. So this is how we are representing the graph in the matrix format. So with this, we'll close the session. Is it okay? Fine. We'll continue with the next session. Is it okay?